Welcome to PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm joined today by Anthony Bongiorno.
Hi, everyone.
And JGL, Jennifer Grace Luttrell.
Hello.
Jen, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. We're here to talk about something very important to me and you.
Super important.
Something super near and dear to all of our hearts.
We're talking about Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
So, as you know, PCMC is all about celebrating low culture. And I've said it before, I fucking love Applebee's. Jen, how do you feel about Applebee's?
Same. It was my favorite spot in high school.
Yeah, when I was out crushing puss and drinking alcohol, you know what I mean, being a cool dude, you and your Applebee's crew were fucking sharing riblets, am I right?
You bet.
But you were doing that at Applebee's.
Yeah.
I had my 16th birthday at Applebee's.
A sweet 16.
I meant to bring a picture and I forgot.
You know what?
Nothing sweeter.
It's you. I had a crown.
Well, we're really approaching this like really responsibly as journalists.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't resist. I had to be in this episode because the person you're listening to right now is a former Applebee's neighborhood expert, former Applebee's employee.
How long did you work for Applebee's?
4 years.
And what were your titles?
I was an SA, which is server assistant, aka busboy. Mm-hmm. Then I did Carside to Go.
Yes.
Then I was a server, and then I was a neighborhood expert, which is a server that also is a trainer.
Very good.
So I was
and
a
how
staff
much did
trainer.
you make at your highest?
At my highest. How much did I make, like from Applebee's?
Yeah.
Or in tips?
Because
we get paid tip wage.
Even as the expert?
As an expert, as an expert, I got paid $6 an hour.
Well, you know,
but tip wage at the time was like $4.
There was a class action lawsuit against Applebee's because of side work. And they were saying we shouldn't be paid tip wage if we're not always doing tip work. And I forget what year it was. I have it written down. The court sided with the people and Applebee's had to pay.
Yeah, I think I was out by that time. I worked there from 2004 to like 2008.
Okay. So I have here from the official Applebee's website their version of their history, and then we'll go into some other history. So bear with us. I'm about to take you on a historical
You're about
journey.
to talk about TJ?
I'm about to talk about TJ Palmer. In 1980, Bill and TJ Palmer opened TJ Applebee's RX for edibles and elixirs.
What a fun name, everyone. Can we just take a second?
It was a casual restaurant, right? I always say fast casual, but it's not technically fast casual. Fast casual is more like Chipotle.
Panera Bread.
Yeah. But it's casual because it's certainly not fine dining.
Well,
although it's all blurry.
That's subjective.
The lines are blurry now because, like fast food, all of it comes fucking frozen. So it's a lot of
well, that's where I'm going to bring you the dirt.
All right.
About what goes on behind the scenes.
Well, anyway, TJ Applebee's RX for edibles and elixirs, their theme was that it was like an old drugstore. Mm-hmm. But it was that's just their theme.
But it makes sense, though, because it was the Tiffany lamps and the local high school shit on the walls and stuff.
What's interesting, or what I found actually kind of disappointing, was that the name doesn't mean anything. They found the name in a phone book spelled with a Y at the end, and then they tried to use it, and then they found out that name was trademarked. So they were like, oh, let's call it Peppers, or let's call it some other bullshit. And then they were like, let's just call it Applebee's and change it. But it's so interesting because I feel like even though they weren't thinking about it, there's so much in it.
I was going to say, I don't know if I quite believe that, because I feel like Applebee's is just such like an all-American name.
Well, but I feel like we bring those connotations to it.
Well, so
because we think apple,
like American is apple pie.
Apple pie, apples. Their logo is an apple.
Yeah.
AB, the beginning of the alphabet, are like Applebee's. It's like very, very. All of those connotations are there, but supposedly it's not coming from anything.
But I feel like it fits so well with the aesthetic.
It does, but perhaps it also creates that aesthetic. Like maybe one of the reasons, like the first time you heard the word Applebee's, did you think that that's what it was going to be? I don't know if I did.
No.
In 1983, the year I was born, the Palmers sell the Applebee concept to W.R. Grace and Company, and I think they got divorced. That's not on their official website. In 1985, Bill Palmer, principal owner of Cafe Ventures, becomes an Applebee's franchisee. He sells his company to a larger corporation, but then he becomes a franchisee and still runs an Applebee's. In 1986, the name is changed to just Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar.
Notice not bar and grill.
Yes.
Grill is emphasized, not bar.
Let's see. Abe Gustin and John Hamara of Kansas City opened their first Applebee's franchise restaurant in Kansas City. In 1988, Abe Gustin and John Hamara purchased the rights to Applebee's concept from W.R. Grace Company. 1989, Applebee's International, Inc., AII, competes an initial public offering of common stock under the symbol APPB. There are 200, at this point in 1992, there are 250 Applebee's. 1994, there are more than 500 Applebee's. 1995, AII acquires Rio Bravo Cantinas, which is a chain of Mexican dining restaurants.
Which then became Chevy's.
Yeah. In 1996, there were 819 Applebee's. They grow very quickly during the 90s. And they actually hit a peak, and there's less now than there was.
One time, we live on Staten Island. At one time when I was working there, it was like still hitting its peak, I think.
Yeah.
And we went from having like 2 to 5 on Staten Island. And I think now we're like back down to 3, I think.
We're back down to 3, yeah. In 1997, there were 960. In 1998, Applebee's opens its 1,000th restaurant in Aurora, Colorado. In 1999, AII sells Rio Bravo restaurants to Chevy's, another fresh mix restaurant chain. This is a record system-wide sale of $2.35 billion. 2000, Applebee's introduces a new menu, and the number of restaurants climbs to 1,250. Also in 2000, Applebee's expands internationally and develops restaurants in Latin America and Middle East, which is... I knew that you could find McDonald's anywhere, but I had no idea you could find an Applebee's in the Middle East.
That's wild.
In 2001, the number of restaurants climbs to 1,392. Julia Stewart joins IHOP Corporation as their chief executive officer. So one of the big things that happens is IHOP buys them at some point.
Mm-hmm. But they bought... So I was there when that happened.
Yeah.
They bought corporate, but... Most, if I remember correctly, most Applebee's are franchised, so it didn't actually affect us.
Yeah.
Very much. I mean...
Well, like with any franchisee, depending on the franchise, you have some autonomy and some not.
Right, yeah. We worked for, I think they're still around, Apple Metro, which was basically all the Applebee's in the New York City area were owned by Zane Tankel.
From what I understand, every Applebee's needs to have some signature things like riblets. But then there's a secondary menu that's like more local stuff that you're allowed to pick from.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then you're also encouraged to go to the local high school and get shit to put on the walls and stuff. So it's there's more autonomy than, say, something like a Subway where you kind of have to do it exactly what they say it is. Let's see. 2002, Applebee's celebrates the opening of its 1,500th restaurant. 2004, Applebee's makes a successful partnership by introducing its Weight Watchers menu.
Oh, I remember that very well.
Yes. 2005, Applebee's expands international growth to Brazil, Chile, Ecuador, and Jordan. 2007, Applebee's opens its first location in China. Applebee's is named one of 3 finalists for the Gardner High Performance Workplace Excellence Award. Applebee's Services Incorporated is purchased in November by IHOP. 2008, Serve Safe Alcohol awards Applebee's the Best Chain Responsible Beverage Alcohol Service Training Program. Interesting. 2009, Applebee's introduces neighborhood-inspired real burgers from across America. Participating in Applebee's locations thank active duty and retired military members with free lunch on Veterans Day during company's inaugural blah, blah, blah. 2010, Applebee's unbelievably great tasting and under 550 calories menu launches with 5 new better for you entrees. It opens its first restaurant in Singapore. 2010, Applebee's unveils its revitalization concept, which includes changes to the restaurant. So this is where this one ends. But 2010, that revitalization, which was an attempt to get more millennials to come, ends up failing. And they lose a lot of restaurants and do really badly for a while. And then eventually they give up on millennials and they go, fuck it, let's just go back to what we were. And they sort of went back to their old menu. Because remember there was that time where there was like a bougie menu where there was like brioche buns and blah, 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 blah. And now they're back to like the traditional sampler that we all know. And
They, from the thing you sent me that I read, it said that their happy hour specials save them. Like
And-
dollaritas.
Dollaritas.
And like and this wasn't a thing when I worked there, but now like any Applebee's you go to after 8 o'clock, all appetizers are really cheap.
yeah. Well, the
So
dollar
they get like packed late.
You're right. And they end up being a loss leader because people will always buy food when they drink. But apparently the drinks are like real, like it's bottom shelf liquor and they're watered down.
It's like really watered down, but people don't care because it's $1. So like they'll keep buying more because like $1 drink is $1 drink.
Right. And they're full of sugar. So it's just like you keep like being like, okay, now I want food. Let's talk about love. So my first, I'm a vegetarian now. I'm better than you. But when I first went to Applebee's in like the 90s, right? When I was, I don't know, like 95, 96. I didn't go until I moved to Staten Island from Brooklyn in like, what was that, 95 or something?
97.
97. So that was, I guess, when I first went to Applebee's. My first like go to Applebee's was the popcorn shrimp basket, which is like that fried shrimp that's like so delicioso, and fries. And that was like what I always got every time. What was your first go to Applebee's?
Probably chicken tenders. But then I remember my sister making me try buffalo wings, and that was before they had the boneless ones. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever tasted. So now that's my go-to. And now that they're boneless, even better.
Life-changing.
Even better.
Right, you don't like bone.
I don't like bone. It freaks me out. You know what I don't like? Sorry if this is gross. I don't like veins. The bone doesn't freak me out. It's when I see or hit a vein that I'm just like absolutely disgusted.
Because you realize this is an animal.
Yeah.
I'm eating an animal. What did you eat at your Sweet 16?
Probably buffalo wings. I haven't looked back. I've never looked back. It's been buffalo wings. Once they went boneless, I've never looked back. I will not order anything. Sometimes I used to order riblets. But no, I haven't looked back from buffalo wings.
So we went today for research. So what did you order today?
Buffalo wings. Boneless buffalo wings with a side of fries. And let me tell you, my old boss thought this was genius. I always order the buffalo wings, boneless buffalo wings, with an extra side of buffalo so that I can dip.
Yeah, it's great.
And she dips her fries in that.
Yeah,
I
it's
changed.
life-changing.
Yeah, I changed
It
someone's
is.
life.
I don't mean to throw a
And I can dip my fries in it.
wrench into this, but I don't think they have great buffalo sauce. I think it's too vinegary. I prefer Hooters buffalo wings. Jen.
You're wrong.
It's just
I
an
mean,
objective
all
fact.
buffalo wings are beautiful in their own way. But
Love wins.
yeah, no. Unless it's like a, like a pub. Unless it's like a real non-chain. Those are probably better. But chain-wise, Applebee's hands down.
Anthony, what was your original go-to Applebee's
well, let me tell
menu
you-
item?
Let me tell you, it's a tale of two samplers.
Oh, please.
Is what I like to talk about.
Also the name of your autobiography.
My autobiography. I met my husband at Applebee's. So when I first started working there, they had just introduced, this was 2004, they just introduced boneless wings, and those were a game changer. So much so that they changed the appetizer sampler. So when I first started working there was the old sampler, which was an off-menu item that people would request vehemently, and then the new sampler, which is still the sampler of today.
Oh, really?
The old sampler was riblets, because that was their original staple.
Right.
It was
Right, it
riblets,
was.
nachos, mozzarella sticks, and quesadillas. They replaced it with the new sampler, which is boneless wings, spin dip, mozzarella sticks, quesadillas.
See, I always think of that as
That was the second.
sampler.
That was the new sampler. So nowadays, I mean, you can't. If you say, "Can I have an old sampler?" They won't know what you're talking about anymore. But yeah, it was the nachos, the riblets, and the other two.
Do you ever
riblets were such a thing.
Yeah, that was a
I
big
remember
thing for
every
them.
summer it was the all-you-can-eat riblets, and the commercial was riblets.
How many heart
Applebee's
attacks would you
has
see people
riblets.
have?
Those, what's so disgusting is that riblets, like cleaning dishes and picking up eating riblets, it's just like little discs of bone. They're so disgusting. But I always got the sampler, to answer your question. Even before I worked there, my go-to meal was the sampler because I was a fat kid and I wanted the whole sampler to myself.
I love a sampler too.
With a raspberry iced tea, baby.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some of that spinach dip. I'm gonna put that on top of my quesadilla.
Oh, I do that too.
I used to like the spinach dip too. I forgot about it, but I think I'm lactose intolerant, and I think I just I didn't know, but I think I also just ignored it for a while, and I think that's why I don't get it anymore. I think it just made me sick for a while. I forgot all about it, but I used to love it.
Yeah, that's my favorite spinach and artichoke dip.
I feel like they invented spinach and artichoke dip.
But I feel like
they also invented boneless wings. In fairness to Applebee's.
Whoa.
Because I feel like a lot of other places have boneless wings now.
Do they have boned wings at all anymore?
Yeah.
They do.
And yeah, but I mean, boneless wings are just chicken nuggies with
Chicken
buffalo
nuggies.
sauce. That's all they are.
Yeah. So when I go now, well, I just changed recently, because now they have Impossible Burger, so I get like Impossible Burger. But I'm a big fan. They had where we are on Staten Island. They're not all the same. One of our Applebee's has these breadsticks that are a lot like the breadsticks you get from Olive Garden. And it comes with like an Alfredo dipping sauce, and that's an appetizer. But I get that bad boy just for dinner. Just 5 fucking loaves of bread, just right in my fucking gillet. And then similar but different is and I had this today. They have the big pretzel sticks.
Oh, the pretzels are good.
That come with
that beer cheese is good.
Come with beer cheese. Who put beer and cheese together? Genius.
So good.
And honey mustard.
Yeah, so good. Homo.
Yeah. Is that what they call that?
That's
Homo?
what I call it. that's all I call it. Let's talk about some old menu items.
Let's do it.
Like, do you remember the fried chicken salad?
No.
It was like chicken tenders, eggs, bacon.
Oh, okay.
Honey mustard dressing. It was a good one.
I feel like the Asian chicken salad has been a mainstay.
Okay, do you mean the unfortunately named Oriental chicken salad, which they still haven't changed the name of?
They still haven't, really?
I don't think they have the roll up anymore, but I used to like the roll up too.
And it used to come with teriyaki sauce on the side that they don't have anymore.
It was so
good. Can I tell you that's one of the that's like one of the myths of Applebee's?
Please tell me.
Is it was in that article that you sent me that Applebee's notoriously never shares its recipes.
Yeah.
So we always used to there was like a myth. It was like an urban legend of like what the Oriental dressing was made of. Because when I tell you that Oriental dressing was like crack.
Yeah.
People would they'd come in and they'd be like, I want an Oriental chicken salad. I want like 7 cups of that dressing on the side. And it's called Oriental vinaigrette dressing. And it is white. Yeah. It is white, thick, creamy inconsistency. It is jizzy. It's very, I didn't want to say it, but it's very jizzy.
It's jizz with sugar
and it comes pre-packaged because one of the side works was dressings, where you had to put the dressings in the little pores and then you'd have to cut open the container and scrape out the remaining dressings. So you got every last drop. And for as long as I worked there, everybody was convinced that the Oriental dressing was chicken fat, sugar, and vinegar.
That could be
whipped together.
That very much could be it.
But there was no that you can never prove that because there's no ingredients listed on the thing.
It's wild.
But it's definitely like some kind of fat that's been whipped.
Yeah. Well,
delicious
fat.
We read this article. I got a lot of information from an article I read from a website called Mashed, not Mashable, Mashed, which I don't
garlicmashed.com.
It was called Mash.com. It was delicious. And I learned a lot of stuff from there. So tell us. Oh, wait. Before we get to some of the down and dirty, let's talk about dessert menus. The Blondie.
Rest in peace. Is she back?
Well, she's back, but she doesn't have the best part. I think the best part, he hates it. Like the inside of the apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the streusel.
The best part. Is that what it's called?
Oh, wait. Are you talking about is it like apple-y crumbles?
Yeah, it's the apple. No, it's the apple.
Oh,
it's the apple. But
I don't remember there being apple in there.
There was apple. Does
it still come with the pour-over butterscotch sauce?
No, then it's different.
Oh. Right now, it comes with like cinnamon. What is it? On the skillet, it's a Blondie. Then
scoop of ice cream,
a scoop of vanilla ice cream, some butterscotch or caramel, and pecans Yeah, it's
To have that.
It used to be, it was different in consistency. I remember it used to have walnuts over it.
yeah.
Chopped walnuts, and it used to come with again like a very jizzy white
Yeah.
sauce that you would pour over, and it would bubble on the skillet.
Right.
Do you know how many people injured themselves on those skillets when I worked there?
Because they would lick it.
And by one time a baby, this is horrible. I'm laughing because I'm nervous. A baby like just reached over and put its whole hand on the skillet and had to go to the emergency room. Like those skillets are really dangerous.
And there's no need for those skillets other than like it's just an aesthetic.
Well, it's because
thing.
that's the whole thing is like they were known for their sizzling fajitas, so that when they would walk by you with it, people would be like, "What's that?
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
what's that?"
So why not put a fucking blondie on it?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was like chocolate death or like something. It was old.
The triple chocolate meltdown.
No, I think it was before that. The triple chocolate meltdown, I think, replaced it. But
Oh, okay.
my best friend, like, we were so upset when it was gone and we just couldn't be consoled. And I forget what it was called. It was something like chocolate death or like devil's delight.
Devil's delight. Ooh, my goodness.
Do you want to live deliciously?
It was so good. It was probably as good as the triple chocolate meltdown, but it was in a different shape and we didn't want it.
The blue ribbon brownie was always my favorite, and we used to order it brownie no Mike.
What's that
Which
mean?
means don't microwave it because it would come frozen.
Yeah.
And then the ice cream wouldn't melt, and it would just be like you just sit and eat a delicious frozen brownie with ice,
Nice.
2 scoops of ice cream.
But I love the combination of the ice cream with the hot. But by the
Well,
way,
you're a
blondie.
plebe.
Okay, you were saying that like, did Applebee's invent the boneless wing? Probably not, but they certainly popularized it. I feel like I never knew a blondie before Applebee's. I remember the first time I heard blondie, I was like, I didn't even get it. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh, it's, and I, just like I love white chocolate more than regular chocolate. Like I to me, a blondie is so far superior to a brownie.
Oh yeah, so good.
Blondies are just fucking perfect.
Yeah, they're so good. They went away. She went away for a while. I guess she's back.
You know what the trick is? You share it and then you're not fat. It's healthy
how it
because
works?
2 people are eating it, right, Jen?
The bread pudding's also good.
I've never had that. I don't
I don't know
believe.
if they still have it. It was it was bread pudding with ice cream.
So what, in your time working there, when you worked there, did you eat a lot of it?
Yeah, I eat there all the time. I eat there every shift.
What is there anything that you really love that they don't have anymore?
The Oriental roll up, I really, really loved, and they don't have.
I don't
anymore.
remember that. What was it?
The Oriental salad in a wrap with fries, and like it used to come with this delicious stir fry dipping sauce on the side.
I think you can still ask for it. I feel like I've still asked for it.
They still have
the
it
roll up.
because I feel like but the sauce they don't carry anymore. Because I asked for that sauce and they were like, no. Oh, they had a really good warm spinach and shrimp salad that was really good with like a bacon dressing.
Ooh, yeah. They did a lot of good things with shrimp.
They had the while I was there, they had that menu from that guy from the Food Network. That's where the quesadilla.
Bobby Flay?
No, what's his name?
John Oliver? No, that's
John
a
Oliver,
comedian.
Yes, I don't know. It's where the quesadilla burger came from.
Jamie Oliver.
No, wasn't him.
Giada De Laurentiis.
So no, it was a guy. He was a guy. I don't know, but he had a special menu that was like a promotional. But then a couple of them were so popular that they made it to the regular menu, and one of them was the quesadilla burger.
In your time working there, did you ever see anything just completely fail, flop, just go like they brought it out and it was just like a wah from day one?
Yeah. I think there was like a chicken parmesan dish that was just like nobody liked.
That was a no-go. It's hard to do Italian.
Madeira steak tips, nobody liked.
Yeah.
A couple things. Yeah, every month they would do a promotional with like a few new menu items, and
Right.
it would go in the insert of the menu. And the cool thing of working, like whenever we would do a rollout with new items, we would all get together and have a meeting and taste them.
Yum.
And that was always fun. But yeah, those a few things every month would like flop, and then they would disappear forever. They did like a whole Italian thing once, and like
That's
a
hard
bunch
to
of
do
them
in New York.
a bunch of them were gross, and nobody ordered them again.
It's hard to do that in New York.
It was like chicken parm and like a bunch of like fake Italian things.
Mm-hmm. When I worked at Perkins, they made a big deal about they had po' boys, and boy did that flop terribly.
Perkins, I just feel like can't get dinner off the ground.
Perkins is like, yeah, it's for older people. Like dinner rush would be at like 4:30 when I worked there. By 7, it's like you're done. You've made your money for the night.
Yeah, Applebee's used to be really busy. I feel like it's not. Every time I go to an Applebee's
Well, it's
now, I
not
feel
a
like it's not at its heyday anymore.
Well, what's interesting is because as I was like reading a little bit about it today, I was seeing all these things about why does Applebee's suck? Applebee's is the worst, and it's like it's so interesting to me
It
because
became a joke.
yeah, it's like people love to dunk on it, but it's like I'm not saying that it's high cuisine, but I'm saying that like it's salt, fat, and sugar, and that's always good. But like to people who are, I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know, it's like such
I feel like
an
it's been in
easy
movies
target.
and TV as like a joke, like,
I know
oh, we
it-
go to Applebee's. But I feel like when I worked there and prior to that, like it was a cheesecake factory. Like we used to go on like an hour
Right.
wait. Like
Right.
now you don't, it just doesn't do that anymore.
Right. I mean, I think it still
the
does
market's
okay.
changed, I guess.
Yeah.
People's tastes have changed. People want to eat healthier. I don't know. Things change.
I mean, I think it still does okay. I don't see any that are like really failures.
No, but when's the last time you went to an Applebee's and like
There was
we're,
a wait?
we're told like it's a 45-minute
No,
wait?
no,
I mean,
never.
that used to be every single weekend.
Never ever. No, not anymore. You're right. No, it had its heyday, but I feel like it just isn't cool. But it's like, why would it have to be cool? It's so it's interesting. the way-
Millennials, we're the problem.
See, the reason I feel like this fits with our podcast is because I do think dining like this is part of pop culture.
It is totally.
I mean, I think the movie Waiting is about Applebee's.
I think he said the guy who wrote it worked at like a TJ Bentley's or TJ Fridays or something.
Yeah.
But it's similar. I mean, they're all
It's
the
the
same.
same shit.
Yeah, they're all the same. Or like
And-
Bennigan's or something.
Yeah. But I in that category, I always thought Applebee's was better. I prefer Applebee's to Perkins and Denny's and you know, IHOP and shit like that.
Yeah, me too. I still think I still eat there regularly.
It's
I mean, they
fucking
still have good
delicious.
food. It's not as cheap as it used to be.
Right.
But no, I mean, nothing
It's
is.
still pretty
but
cheap, though.
It's not terrible, especially if you go for like happy hour. Like a lot of times we'll go and we'll just get a bunch of appetizers and split them. And
Let's talk about the bar. Because I'm sure you've seen some sad things at that
oh
bar.
boy, have I. Let's also talk about, we can put a pin in this right now, but I do want to come back to karaoke night where you first found your voice.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me tell you, this is a side story. There's an Indian restaurant here in Staten Island, and me and Jen went there for dinner, and they've got like literally a tiny bar with like 2 things, and it's just like they have a bar because it's a restaurant, but it's like no one sits at that bar.
Right.
There was a guy sitting there talking endlessly.
Our like local. Well, we have 3 local. 4. There's one in the mall.
Yeah, there was
There's
4 now. One
there's-
just opened. The 4th one just opened.
Yeah, but yeah, that one was closed for a while because they were redoing just the whole mini mall, and yeah.
The guy, we heard the guy say, "Yeah, I used to go to the Applebee's and hang out, but that closed, so now I'm here."
We had
So
regulars.
He was just sitting there alone in an Indian restaurant drinking.
Yeah, we had a lot of regulars that would hang out at the bar, like a lot.
And you were across the street from a high school.
We were across the street from high school, so
you had
teachers would
teachers.
come for happy hour, and it's also the high school we went to. So I would
Yeah.
also see teachers I had getting drunk at the bar.
Like Friday, Applebee's.
we were right next to. I mean, it really did, I think, achieve its goal of being the neighborhood
Yeah.
place because we were right next to the post office, and the mailmen and women would come in all the time.
Yeah.
And we had a few very sad barflies that would hang out with us until like 2:30 in the morning when we'd have to be like, you need to go. Like we'd try to hint, we'd try to turn the lights on, and they just would not get the hint. Like we needed them out to close
It's sad because it's a weird atmosphere. What time did they start serving alcohol?
all day.
But didn't didn't used to like in the morning they didn't and people would
On
argue
Sundays,
with you?
it's still a New York law that on Sunday, the day of the Lord, you cannot serve alcohol till afternoon. So we would open at 11, and for the first hour on Sunday, you couldn't serve. So if somebody wanted a mimosa, they couldn't have one.
And how would that go?
Sometimes people get really mad. And then very often the bartender would just make it for them and then be like, make sure you physically couldn't ring it in until 12. So they'd say like, I'm going to make it for them, but make sure you ring it in right at 12 so that we can charge them for it. Yeah. But other than that, the bar was serving all day.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there weren't a ton of people in there. I mean, there was always somebody at the bar, honestly,
Yeah.
even during the day.
Yeah. Was it?
Some people just like to eat at the bar too.
Was there ever, since you worked there, was there ever a time like on a Saturday night or Friday night where there were young people at the bar? Was it ever like a cool place where people would go get fucked?
Yeah, during big sports events.
Now, what is a sport?
Well, no, yeah, like during NBA championships, during World Series, big football game on Sunday. Every Sunday we wore jerseys.
Oh, you had to wear a
football
jersey?
Season, yeah.
So how did you pick your jersey? The color you like the most?
Yeah, I think it was. I think I had a Jets jersey that I like stole from a friend.
Sure.
That I don't even. Yeah, it just looked nice on me. But yeah, they put in a lot of TVs, like flat screen TVs, at a certain point, and then there were a lot of people who'd come in, like younger people, but it was never like the hippest place for young people.
And now it's like, I don't know, it's like Facebook. It's like easy to dunk on. It's like, you go to Applebee's. It's like, yeah, it's fucking delicious. Like, why would I not go to Applebee's? It's so funny because like those are the first people to, like, when they travel, they go to all those places in another country. Like, do you know in McDonald's they have like shrimp burgers? And it's like, well, fucking, why is it cool there and not here? I
love a chain restaurant.
Of course you do. It's good. Look, it's not hard to make food delicious. Like, obviously, I believe in fine dining. Obviously, fine dining is amazing. I've done it maybe twice in my life. But you know, you've never gone to an Applebee's and been like really disappointed, have you?
No.
And I feel like those places are all about the appetizers. The entrees is
that's
like,
how they upsell you.
Yeah, the entrees are like, like it's okay, a burger, whatever. I always like their fries though. Applebee's has good fries, I think.
It's because
it's the salt and the pepper.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it's salt, pepper, and garlic powder.
We're learning all the big secrets.
That's what it is. The Applebee's police are gonna knock my door down.
You're not supposed to give out the recipes. Oh, garlic.
Let's talk about Zany, whatever his fucking name is.
He was famously mocked on The Daily Show.
Yeah, what was he? So what I read about him on that article from MASH was he was not very well liked.
No.
What did the Daily Show do about him?
He was one of the people who came out very early on saying, like, if you make me offer benefits, I'm just going to cut hours.
He was very anti-Obamacare.
Yeah.
Hugely anti-Obamacare.
Yes. I met him many times.
You did, really?
Yeah. He would come in. He's not like the Applebee's owner. He's just the owner of the franchise in New York City. So it's like all the ones in Staten Island, all the ones in Brooklyn, the one in Times Square. And he used to also own the Chevys. We used to do when Chevy's was around. We used to do food swaps with them. Sometimes,
really?
Like, we'd send them a bunch of stuff, and they'd send us a bunch of stuff.
Zane Tanko, CEO of Applebee's NYC area franchise.
Okay,
Apple Metro,
yeah. And then I think it was Jon Stewart at the time said that he has a Star Wars villain sounding name, Zane Tanko.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, because I remember everybody being like, "Oh my God, did you see they made fun of Zane on the Daily Show?"
That's hilarious. He deserved it. Was he nice?
He's a nice guy. I mean, I never really got to know him very well.
Did you know, this is a good thing, did you know that in 2008 they went cage-free eggs?
Like free-range pigs?
Right.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Well, do all Applebee's serve breakfast now? Because that used to only be at select locations.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever gone to Applebee's for breakfast.
I think my grandma and my aunt did, and they hated it. But they went when it first started, so I don't know.
Yeah.
With a thing like that, I'd rather just go to a diner. Because, like, you're going to get eggs anyway, right? So it's like...
Yeah.
I mean, Perkins was good for breakfast, but again, it's because it wasn't that expensive, and they basically would give you what a diner would give you. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to
I remember for a while, only the Times Square location did breakfast just because it was so busy. But now I think
that's the biggest one. Isn't it like 4 floors or something like that?
It's big. Yeah, it's very big. I think a lot of them offer breakfast now, which I can't imagine is good.
As of right now, there are 1,578 locations.
Still a lot.
That's still a lot. That's still pretty good.
Yeah. Have you? Oh, so at your Sweet 16, did they sing you the Applebee's birthday song?
Probably. I was trying to find the picture.
The whoa, somebody told us that it's your birthday.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
How many times did you sing that song?
I was just gonna say, I worked there for 4 years. I must have sung it at least 3 times a shift.
Oh, really?
Yeah, always.
Did you ever know, like, there was some shitty kid, it wasn't their birthday?
Sometimes servers, like, if it was a group of teenagers, sometimes, like, after a high school play or a high school game, like, we get slammed, like, a ton of teenagers coming in, and then some of the servers would be like, "Oh, it's your birthday? Let me see your ID." "Oh, no ID? Oh, sorry, we can't do it."
Nice. Nice.
Because you know that they would just like mess with each other and say it's his
Yeah.
birthday,
Right.
And then they'd always get really mad when they found out like you have to pay for that dessert. That's not
Right.
free. It's not a free
Yeah.
dessert.
Yeah, it's not free. You get the
You
free
want
song.
the free. You get the free scoop of ice cream. If you order anything else, you're getting charged.
Right. Yeah, when I worked at Perkins, I would work overnights, and when the old people would be gone by 8 p.m., it was basically
When they were long in bed,
yeah,
long dead.
It was a desert until like 1 o'clock, and then like you'd get like 20 18-year-olds. They all want Coke and a chicken finger melt. 20 separate checks, please.
Yeah. And they're like, I have $5, so I'm gonna get multiple items.
Right.
There was always a kid who got, and I experienced this when I was in high school as well. There's always a kid who got shafted because the other kids didn't put in enough money.
Yeah.
And then that, like, one kid was left over who would, like, have to pay the rest of the bill and have to, like, call their dad or mom to come bring the money. Was that you, Jen? Oh,
No, I wasn't the kid that didn't have the money. I was the kid that always
That
had
got shafted?
extra money. Yeah.
It's horrible. So there'd always be one kid that ended up having to pay like $80 for chicken fingers.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, because the other kids would like skip out and be like, "Here's $10," and run out.
That's still me. Whenever someone like needs to send me money, I'm like, "Oh, I have it all," and they're like, "Why?" And it's like, "Cause no one wants to put up the money for lunch, but everyone wants to order lunch."
Right.
So I have every kind of like Venmo or whatever.
I take whatever you got.
Yeah, people just send me however they have it.
Would you like to pay in Canadian?
Right. Because no one also wants to come to your system. No one wants to download Zelle or PayPal. Like, they want their own system. And they want you to adapt to it.
So you're a small business at this point.
Right. Yeah. No, it's me.
Back in the day, there was a chain of drugstores called Genevieve's, kind of like Rite Aid or CVS, and there was one right next to Applebee's. And
you worked there.
Yeah, and I worked there, and we every night, like after, like on a weekend, like on Friday, Saturday, if you were working, you'd go to the Bees. Mm-hmm. And what was the name of the woman? Marianne. I worked with an older woman named Marianne, who was like funny old lady, and she'd be like, "You going to Bees, Mike? We're gonna go to Bees."
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah,
you like weirdly hung out with her.
Yeah, me and her, we chilled. We were cool. No, she was funny. She was like, I guess in her 50s or 60s, and
was she Genevieve's or Zany Brainy?
Genevieve's. She whenever she had to, like, if she was put on like the side of the store where the condoms are, she'd be like, "Mike, could you do this for me? I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know. I can't do it. Let's go to the Bees."
Let's go to the Bees. The Bees.
Yeah, I remember like in 2007, Dane Cook, who had a joke where he talks about like when your girlfriend's period is late and then she calls you and you're like, it's the worst week of your life. And then she calls you and she's like, I got it. And you're like, yeah, let's go to Applebee's. And that was like the big punchline. And it was
Maybe
like,
that's where this all started. Dane Cook ruined it.
Dane Cook ruined it.
He single-handedly took down Applebee's as an institution.
Yeah. And he's in waiting. So
is he?
Yeah, he's one of the cooks.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I mean, I'm sure it's problematic now.
Oh, very. I watched it recently. It's very problematic.
Well, like, isn't like
but it's very true to life.
Ryan Reynolds' struggle is to not fucking underage.
Yeah, I know. And what about that line
That's his struggle.
The line where he's like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "I turn 18 next week." And then he goes, "So I don't have much time." So problematic.
That's his fucking whole arc in that movie. And then he doesn't fuck her. Yeah, and we're meant to be like, what a hero.
Yeah. Wow, he's shown growth.
What a fucking hero.
But a lot of that movie was really like true to.
Yeah. But it's funny because it's so obviously trying to be like Clerks, which is itself very problematic.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it. Oh, it took me forever. This is a terrible photo, but
you know we're on a podcast, right?
It's just bothering me.
Let me see.
There's a better one.
Was this in Newdorp?
Yeah.
I may have been working that night. What year was this?
I don't know, 2000.
1968, 69.
I may have.
You're old.
I may very well have been your server.
Let me see. Oh boy,
that's adorable.
They got me like a fake.
These are some teenage faces.
Do you
right
know how
here.
many proposals we had at Applebee's, by the way?
Please tell me.
A lot more than you would think. Which the appropriate number is 0.
Wow, it's like fireworks at Disney.
Unless it's where you went on your first date or something cute. But
tell me about the proposals.
There were just a lot.
But what were they like planned? Like, we're gonna go to Applebee's and this is what we're gonna do. Would you ever be part of it? Like, hey, bring over the fucking...
Yeah, somebody, not me, but one of my coworkers like brought it out on like a tray, like the ring. Like it was a whole thing.
Wow.
We also saw, oh my God, so much good stuff happened there.
Tell us.
One time, a lot of cheaters were caught at our Applebee's. One time during
Bringing the side bitch to Applebee's?
Yes. One time during a lunch shift. So there's two stories that come to mind, actually, right off the top of my head. One time during a lunch shift, a guy and a girl were together eating lunch, and then another woman just like walked in, marched over to the table, and sat down next to the girl and was like, "Hey, what's up? This is my husband." And then the girl who was on the date, who was not the wife, flipped the table up because she was in a booth, to jump out and run away.
Sure.
And then he ran after the girl. The wife ran after her. Then he ran after both of them. And then there was like a mess everywhere because the table was flipped. It was crazy. And then like 20 minutes later, the guy comes in and sits at the bar, and he was like, "Just give me a shot of anything you got." And the bartender was like, "It's on me. Don't worry about it." And then another night, it was like a busy Friday or Saturday, there was a woman and her mother eating dinner, and then like her fiance and another girl came in and were sat right next to them at the next table. And it turned into like a whole scene, and they all walked out.
Oh, shit.
It was wild.
Talk about the neighborhood, man.
Listen, it was the neighborhood grill and bar.
So you want to talk about karaoke? Let's talk about karaoke.
Well, because this is where our stories intersect. And it was at the time, it was every Thursday or something. And then you started coming in every week and sang various ballads. And at one point, you did a rousing rendition of Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yes.
Where you took a sugar packet and opened it up and poured it over your head.
Yeah.
And people were like, "This guy's nuts." And I was like, "That's my brother."
Yeah.
And then there was also this guy, I don't remember his name. I won't say it to protect the innocent.
Yeah.
But this guy came in every week, and this went on for years, to sing "Run Around Sue" every single week.
That's a karaoke great.
Hey, whoa, every week.
I remember I did a lot of karaoke at Houlihan's as well.
Why were you drawn to the Applebee's karaoke, Mike? To turn it around back to you.
When you're in your early 20s. It's like you want to be out all the time, right? It's the middle of the week, probably. Like, it's something to do. You can have a few drinks. It's a way to show off, blow off steam. You know what I mean? Now I would not do it, not out of embarrassment, but just out of like, it's too much bother. You know what I mean? But at the time, I was like, yeah, let's do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I did Houlihan's a lot. And Houlihan's was an older crowd. By the way, Houlihan's is...
You're talking about like when you ran the circuit. You're like, Houlihan's used to have a great Tuesday night.
Oh my God, let me tell you how old I am. At this point, smoking indoors was still allowed in New Jersey. And I got up and crooned "Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime" by Dean Martin. And then I was a bunch of like cougars at the bar, and I was like, "Does anyone have a cigarette for me?" And then some like
they were definitely tripping over each other to hand you a cigarette.
Yes, some woman came and gave me a lit cigarette, and I fucking
amazing.
Smoked it like Dino. Yeah. But Everybody Loves Somebody. I wouldn't have gone to Applebee's. Applebee's
was much more of a party atmosphere.
It was a tougher room. Yeah, you had to keep the energy up.
Yeah.
You know where else they had really good karaoke? This is a regional reference. Rab's Country Lanes.
Oh my God. You worked there too.
Yeah, I did work there. Yeah. But I don't think I ever did karaoke while I worked there.
Karaoke in itself, we could do an episode on that. What a sad art form.
I did have the lowest point in my life when I worked at Rab's Country Lanes, because there was they had party rooms, and I had to clean out a party room to get it prepared for a party. And sometimes they had like stuff in there for parties, like cake stuff and stuff, and they had like that stuff that you write like "Happy Birthday" on a cake, like that blue stuff. So I squoze it into my mouth, and then I looked and caught myself in the mirror, and I saw me doing
a man
it,
you didn't recognize,
and I said, "Who have you become? How far have you fallen?" That's also the job where I fell asleep, and the boss was like, "You can't sleep while you're working."
He had to wake you up to tell you can't sleep here.
Stop sleeping.
You can't sleep here, Mike. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Working in a bowling alley, that must have been...
That was also where
rough.
I was very, very rude to Method Man.
I remember that. Poor Method Man was just there with his kids trying to show them a good time.
For somebody who has like a somewhat tough persona, he was like the nicest gentleman.
Why were you rude to him?
His kid was flipping out. His kid, like, they give you pizza and then like, they give you 900 of those tiny napkins. So the kid's like throwing the napkins on the floor, and my job was to pick that shit up. And I was like, can you watch your kid? Like I literally was like, can you watch it? Like you're watching your kid throw shit on the ground. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And then, but it's one of those things where he looks like a normal guy, but then you realize those are perfect shoes. That's a $10,000 watch. Like, oh my God. And then you look, it's like, that's Method Man. And I was just rude to him, and he was so nice to me. Yeah, that was.
I'm sure he listens to the pod. So
yeah.
So Method Man.
Yeah.
Mike, sorry.
I'm so sorry. You're welcome on anytime.
And he probably loves Applebee's.
Who?
Probably takes his kids.
Does he have red blood? Then he fucking loves Applebee's. Fuck who doesn't love Applebee's?
Oh, you know what I missed? The spinach and artichoke pizza.
What?
Remember that?
I don't remember that at all.
I never got it.
Yeah, it was one
It looked
tortilla,
good.
spread some spinach dip on it and some diced tomatoes, and they baked it for a little while.
Yeah.
That
It's
sounds
a little
delicious.
thin crust pizza with spinach dip.
So tell me some gross things about the kitchen and the preparation of the food. Apparently, there's a lot of plastic.
But
Which, by the way, I think is par for the course in this type of thing. I found plastic in my burger recently at Red Robin. Which, by the way, I love Red Robin too. That'll be another episode.
Yeah.
I love Red Robin.
Look, I mean, it's not great, but I mean, a lot of things come pre-packed. I mean, they come pre-packaged and then they're microwaved. But they're prepped in the morning, right? It's not like they come shipped in a package. Like they prep them in the morning and then they stay throughout the whole day in a fridge, and then they microwave like the broccoli and the mashed potatoes and stuff, and then
But do they keep it in
put
the
them
bag?
on the plate. They put the mashed potatoes on the plate in the bag, at least when I was there, and then the person who's called the expo, who prepared the plates and sent them out, would take the mashed potatoes out of the bag, wipe the
Apparently
plate
that-
clean.
And this is
Apparently
true.
it's very bad. Now we know that there are microplastics and everything
And we
when
all
we
eat
do that, and that we're
microplastics
eating
constantly.
plastic when
Well,
we
if you have a
warm up
Keurig, which
plastic.
I drink from a Keurig every day, the plastic seeps out of the Keurig cup too.
A what?
Keurig?
Oh, Keurig.
Keurig.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know what you meant because you pronounced
Are you
it
fucking
stupidly.
with me right now?
A Keurig. No, yeah. A hot plastic is not great.
No, it's not. You're not supposed to be eating that. But
no, I was gonna say, in all fairness, though, like there was nothing that I saw that really grossed me out. Like it wasn't. People are like they think like, oh, it's so disgusting, and like if things fell on the floor, we would throw them
there
out.
are health inspectors.
Yeah,
like
and we always passed, at least my location. Like, and there was never, I can't think of any real situations where like anybody would say like, oh, I hate this table, I'm going to spit in their food. Like that I never saw anything like that. Maybe because just people are more civilized than we think.
I saw an attempt at that, and I
feel like other people would
like
be like,
a
don't
hero,
do that.
like a hero. Don't ruin the story for me. Like a hero, I stopped it, and I was like, I'm not allowing you to do that.
Were they like, thank you? I don't know what I was thinking.
No, they were like, fuck you. They were like, this table's being a dick to me. It was like he was a young server, and I was like, no, you cannot do that. I was like, that's the worst thing that's evil.
Yeah.
Like that is the worst, grossest shit you can possibly do. But that was the only time I ever saw it.
Yeah, I really didn't see stuff like that.
Thank God.
The grossest thing was, and I worked in a couple restaurants, and always the grossest area is the dishwashing area.
Right.
And it was, we used to, it's disgusting. So we called it the GU because it was the general utility machine, which is what cleaned everything.
Sure.
And there would like be like you throw like dirt, soiled dishes and glasses there, and they would like collect in like this disgusting brown liquid that we would call GU juice.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, ew, I got GU juice splashed on me. Like that was the grossest thing. Yeah, disgusting. But other than that, like the actual food portion, nothing was really gross.
All right, I'm glad to hear it. See, I was looking at their Wikipedia. At some point, Wanda Sykes was the voice of the Applebee's Apple. Do you remember that at all?
No.
I feel like I kind of remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
I just remember Aiden Shaw.
Yeah, Aiden, right? Who's what's
He's
his real name?
Applebee's personified. John
What's it-
Corbett.
John Corbett from Sex and the City and My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
And not in Just Like That, despite the fact that he said he was going to be on
Right.
it.
He told us, "Oh, I'll be on it," and I was like, "No,
He
you're not."
lied.
Yeah,
He tried to manifest it.
he is, but he really is the perfect He's the perfect voice of Applebee's. He is Applebee's. He's like, because he's such a guy. He's such
Down homey.
He's just he's a little schlubby, but he's a little handsome. He cleans up well. He's a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is a guy.
Thank you. Remember United States of Terror? Anybody?
Oh yeah, he was great on that.
Future episode, maybe. Yeah. He's Applebee's eating good in the neighborhood.
Wanda Sykes. I guess I can picture it.
Her is the Applebee's apple.
As the apple?
The apple. She was the voice of that apple.
I didn't know the apple had a voice. I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
Unless this is just a really funny prank on Wikipedia. Someone was like, let's say Wanda Sykes is the voice of the apple.
I don't remember the apple being anthropomorphic.
Yeah, I don't remember that either, but
They had a slogan in 2007 that supposedly she said, which was, "Together is good," or "Get it together, baby."
Well, actually, now that kind of rings a bell.
Yeah, there was a couple. Eating Good in the Neighborhood was their classic, but there was a couple different ones.
there's a video.
There's No Place Like the Neighborhood.
We have video.
From 2012 to 2016, Jason Sudeikis was the voiceover for it. This is like an SNL sketch. I'm watching it, but don't believe that it's real. It's just a real apple on a bench talking to a guy, and it's the sassy voice
Of Wanda Sykes. That was a great commercial, actually.
I'm just scrounging around looking for ass. With an ass. Wanda.
So it didn't have a face or anything.
It was just,
It was just
a
an
real
apple that shook
I know. I was
slightly from
imagining
side
a
to side.
cartoon apple.
Yeah, me too.
It was just an apple. That was 2007. No, it's funny though. Now that I think about it, I don't feel like I see that many Applebee's commercials anymore.
I also take that with a grain of salt, because how many commercials do you actually watch anymore?
That's true.
I don't feel like I've seen a commercial for anything forever. I just don't watch commercials anymore.
But I mean, it could be shown. They could force me to watch it in front of a YouTube video, and they never do.
Yeah, true.
I see commercials that way.
I have Peacock with ads, so maybe on there.
You do?
I do, yeah.
That's the only one I don't have. What do you get from that?
The Housewives shows.
Yeah, I'm good.
But like, there's the Housewives that only are on Peacock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they pull that shit.
The All Stars.
Oh, okay. So Applebee's started really in 1980.
I feel like that tracks. It's
Yeah.
got an 80s vibe.
Yeah, it does. I feel like, I mean, unless other people copy them, I feel like they were the originator of bullshit on the walls. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little train set on the walls. There's a stop sign. Like
Here's a carousel horse.
Yeah, bullshit on the walls, I think, was their thing.
Bullshit on the walls is our aesthetic.
Which is like...
But now the newer designed ones, there's less bullshit on the walls.
Yes.
It's images on the walls, but not...
Yeah.
We used to call them they were called the artifacts.
The artifacts.
Because one of the side works was you had to dust the artifacts.
Oh, okay. I mean, they did bring local color. Like, I remember they had, like, pictures of, like, the football team from the high school across the way.
Some people used to come in and be like, that's me.
Can you imagine that's your sad life? Like, you're at the bar, you're like, you see that young guy over there?
That's me.
That was me, 2007. Well, I love Applebee's.
This has been an ad for Applebee's.
This has been brought to you by Applebee's. No, it hasn't. It's just, you know what? You can like what you like. Don't let anybody fucking tell you that you don't let some bougie prick come and tell you to not like Apple.
To not dip bread in Alfredo sauce
I know.
and call it a meal.
You know, like, I like the term foodie, but for me, it's just being a fat guy. Like some people,
Well,
like,
if it tastes good.
yeah. Some people like, I'm a foodie, which means like I only go to the best things.
Right, I'm a snob.
Like, to me, I'm a foodie because I'm a fat man who loves eating food that tastes good. You know, like anything. Like, McDonald's has a new thing. Let me try it. Oh, Burger King has a new thing. Oh, they've got a bullshit. Oh, Starbucks has a fucking bullshit pink shake. I'm on it. Like, I want to try all the shit. I just, you know, me and Vin Forte on his podcast Oddballs, we talked about the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell, which, by the way, I love Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is so good.
Please. Taco Bell is incredible.
Doritos Locos Tacos, cultural reset.
I know. Incredible. And as a vegetarian...
I was going to say, what do you eat there?
You just swap anything for beans. Tacos with beans instead of meat. It's the easiest fast food for vegetarians.
Interesting.
So good. So good. And now I'm trying to eat less dairy, and even then it's easy because you could just, on the Taco Bell app, which is like a game, you like fucking earn points and shit, like, and get free shit.
That's fun.
Because I do it a lot. It's so easy because they just, anything you get, it's like sub this, sub that. You want extra that, you want less of that, you want to go easy on that, and it's just like you could just I live Moss, so I add.
You think outside the bun.
I add
on the daily.
Potatoes and rice to all my tacos. Potatoes and rice.
What kind of potatoes?
They're like breakfast potatoes.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Potatoes and rice, I add them to all my tacos.
Taco Bell is having something of a renaissance.
You bet they are.
I've noticed. There are a lot of new Taco Bell locations popping up everywhere.
Look, life is miserable. So
live Moss, baby.
Enjoy anything you want to enjoy. Don't let somebody fucking be like, oh, don't watch that thing or don't read that thing or don't go to Applebee's. Like, go fuck yourself. How about that?
Remember when Taco Bell's thing was a fourth meal?
Yeah.
How American is that?
I know.
Fourth meal, baby.
Well, what about was it Wendy's that had like they were open to like 2 a.m. and like they basically said weed. They said weed without weed. Like they were like the commercials were all high
for
kids.
your late night cravings.
Yeah, but it would be like kids going through a drive-through like giggling, and it'd be like, all right, they're going as far as they can without saying hi, people.
The Baconator. Has there ever been a greater symbol of the United States of America?
I remember one time I ordered a Baconator and they gave me like 2 pieces of bacon and I flipped the fuck out.
I berated them.
You would have thought that I saw someone murder my dog in front of me. I'd never been more betrayed by anything.
The grossest thing ever is the KFC Double Down. Do you remember that?
Oh, I liked it. It gave me a tummy ache, but I liked it. And it was impossible to hold.
No bread, sub fried chicken breasts.
That was the peak of this is a novelty.
Right.
Because it was because you couldn't even hold it. It was ridiculous.
Right. That was before bacon was ruined for everybody.
Well, because it got so overblown.
That contributed to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bacon, I don't eat bacon anymore, but I still smell it. And of all the meats, I still smell bacon. I'm like, oh, I'd love to eat some bacon. But yeah, that was a time where it was like a bacon covered chocolate, bacon.
Yeah.
Here's cupcakes with bacon and
too much
fried shit. We've been going to Ararangs a lot lately. Feelings on that?
I love Ararangs, but it's so expensive.
It's a little expensive, yeah. But what about that fried ice cream? Fried green tea ice cream? Am I right?
Really good.
I don't know fried ice cream. The spicy edamame.
I've never had the spicy edamame.
Well, they've got the best spicy edamame.
I've never had spicy edamame.
It's life-changing.
Anywhere.
It's
what makes it? What do they put on it?
Like kind of like a peppery sauce. Yeah. It's very good. Ooh. You got to try that.
They have it at like one of the sushi places we order from.
Avocado.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I could say it. Avocado sushi. But that is just like hot. Like that's just like spice. It's not like quite flavorful, but the Ararangs one, oh, so good.
You guys want to go real quick?
I mean,
I wouldn't mind.
Problem is, if it's just me and Jen, we're gonna be we have to make friends with a family.
Hey,
hi. I always have the same line. I go, hi, we're nice people. I feel like it'll be awkward to not say anything. You just say hi, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
I've sat and not said anything.
Yeah, I feel like you could easily sit and not say
Nah, you gotta break bread a little bit.
They don't care.
Yeah,
you don't have to break bread.
No, it makes them more comfortable to know that you're not a creep.
Nah, they don't want you there. They don't want you looking at them.
You're not a pleasant person. This has been PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm joined today by Anthony Bongiorno and Jennifer Grace Luttrell. Jen, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Anthony, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone, go eat good in the neighborhood. We end our episode PCMC by saying,
Go bye-bye.
Go bye-bye.